Yo, what is up? Today we're gonna start it off with. Damn, wait, let me quickly mute this stuff. But we're gonna start off with an update video. I've decided in terms of how I'm gonna plan my upload schedule is that we're gonna start. Uh, it's gonna be a combination. There's gonna be a update like life updates, day to day life update video, and there's going to be the other informational stuff as well. Because I realized as much as this is like a self improvement channel where I'm helping you, self improve, I think it would be beneficial to you to see, how I'm self improving day to day, the things I'm doing to improve. So it feels like we're on this journey together, of getting better, becoming better people, and all that, using what we know to maximize ourselves overall. So, in terms of what's happened today, I've gone to the gym, mostly for cardio. How I separate my days is that my cardio. So I work out 4 days a week. So I go to the gym 4 days a week, and then I try and incorporate a bit of cardio. If I'm unable to, then I just end up. That's just how it is. And then on days that I'm not doing weights, so after Thursday, I just go to the gym for cardio. And that's like how I ideally do it. But I don't know whether you can hear, but my dog's barking in the background. Yeah, let me quickly sort that out. I know. So we're back. He stopped barking, which is dope. But yeah, I just split it up so that even regardless of how many cardio days I get within the weight days, I have days where I'm just focused on doing cardio. Now, I only do this when I'm cutting, which I'm doing right now, just so I have what I feel is enough cardio throughout the week rather than just relying solely on dieting to get me there. Because dieting is the biggest portion of like your weight loss. It's the most helpful and reliable portion of your weight loss, because just if you don't eat as much, then you don't need to burn as much. It's the most reliable version regardless of what's happening within your day. You can always just not eat. If you're trying to lose weight purely through doing cardio, that's an extra thing that you need to do, and depending on how the day is going, you might not be in your ideal deficit because you might not be able to do cardio or as much cardio as you'd like to. So to kind of sort that out, do the cardio that I want to, the amount of cardio that I want to, I just have days where it's purely dedicated to doing cardio. Um, what else? What else happened today besides that? That's like even semi-relevant. Um, I don't know. I needed to like switch toothbrushes. I guess I don't know. That's kind of relevant to like the whole looks maxing thing of like recently I've taken some considerations, and I'm putting extra effort into making my teeth better. I'm trying to smile more. So, I'm brushing my teeth more often. Before I was one of the one a day brushes. Now I'm a twice a day. Before I leave for school, and then before I go to sleep, that's when I brush. You might be wondering why not when I wake up. Well, I don't. We were planes passing by, but I don't see a reason for. No, it's not a plane. It's a helicopter. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place, but that's just how I am. I don't see a reason to brush your teeth before you eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna brush your teeth, it makes sense to only brush it after you've already had your breakfast and when you going out into the world. If you brush your teeth and then eat, then you're just making your teeth like dirty again. So you might as well first eat and then brush your teeth. I've also changed up. Speaking of eating, I've changed up my diet, a bit. Before I was just doing OMAD, and I still think it is the best way. And I'm still going to be doing OMAD. I'm just changing up how I'm doing it. So before it would just be me having supper, but now I'm going to keep some eggs in stock so that I get enough of the healthy cholesterol for my testosterone. You know, for extracurricular, for feeling good mostly actually. No, feeling good, having the healthy hormones and all that, because that does affect you somewhat. And yeah, that's the main ones I would say. Diet and how I'm going about my training in terms of cardio. Um, I also need to get more into reading again. Like last year, I was really good with reading, like getting in my 2 pages a day of like a book that I was reading. I would get in like four. And if you're wondering, the way that I make myself able to read, because at default, I'm more of a pleasure reader than like a purpose reader. So the way that I get it done is that I only subscribe myself 2 pages of the book that I need to read every day because it's a big enough amount that you'll get somewhere, but it's small enough that it's not too big of a thing, not too big of a time dedication. So you do, and I do by numbers and not by, some people do, oh, this amount of time reading. And it might work for them, that amount of time reading. But for me, just having a page by page, tomorrow I'm reading 2 pages, 2 pages, 2 pages, is just, I don't know. I like it. It's easy. It feels easier to track, and there's less of a level of me watching the clock when I'm reading. Like, oh, I only have 10 minutes left, so let me continue. Ooh, I still have 10 minutes. Something like that. It's easier for me to just be like, okay, I have, you know, basically a single page right here and here. I have 2 pages to read, and then once I'm done, I'm done. Whether it takes 10 minutes, whether it takes 5 minutes for the day, I just need to read 2 pages. So that's how I go about doing it. That's how I personally would recommend going about reading. But yeah, I need to get back into it. Last year I was really good. I had plans to like read one book because it was going from zero to something, and I ended up reading two. So my goal this year is to read 2 books. You might be wondering why two and not three. Well, last year I was overachieving, right? That's the thing. As much as you could argue that, oh, because you were able to do two, you should push for more than two this year, I think it makes more sense goal wise for me to make a linear progression, right? My goal is one last year, my goal should be two this year, then should be three next year. Because, like, let's just say this year I overachieve, right? That's an accomplishment. Overachieving is an accomplishment, but I shouldn't like use the overachieving as a baseline for how I progress my goals. It's like a thing of, if your goal is to go up by one plate every week is actually crazy. Wait, no, let me. If your goal is like you're benching and your goal is, oh, I want to go up by 5 kg PR, which is still pretty big, but 5 kg every week, right? Which is like what, 10 pounds or something. My goal is to go up 10 pounds every week. What if one week you go up 20 pounds? Does that mean that the next week you should be trying to go up 30 pounds? Like, no, that could just be a fluke. You could just be have been feeling really good that week. The next one, you might start from the new PR, which is the 20 pounds up, but you still only go up 10 pounds. I don't know why I switched to pounds. Freaking freedom units, bro. Okay, here we use metric system. But yeah, other than that, I've been on top of my skincare. If you're wondering what the skincare is, I exfoliate myself once a day, and then cleanse before I go to sleep. So I exfoliate while I shower. I have like this, exfoliation gel scrub, Rooibos, and then before I go to sleep, I have a cleanser that I put on my face. My dog's barking again, but like, who's this, bro? Is there some other dog? There's some like small dog that he seems to be. That's crazy. All right, that's freaking crazy. But yeah, the reason why it's important is that, like, since you sweat and stuff during the day, it's important to clean yourself before you go to sleep so you don't get any like dirt related breakouts from just like marinating in the dirt. So yeah, I've been on top of the skincare, been on top of the brushing teeth, been on top of that. That sounds weird to say. I won't even like saying like, oh, I've been on top of brushing my teeth. Like, yeah, I hope so, bro. But like, you get what I mean. Like in terms of the the nightly brushes, I've been on top of that. It's been a bit more difficult. Especially washing my face has been so difficult because now it's like really cold. Like winter has come. You know, at least there's still like sun and stuff, but like winter has come, it's actually cold. Like it's really cold now. So it makes washing my face harder because like, you know, the water will come out cold and I gotta like warm it up first. And then, you know, you splash water in your face, but the water's like, if you're lucky, lukewarm, but I'm not trying to like wait and waste water and stuff. So it's been really hard with the washing face, but you know, I think it has um, some not progress. What do you call it? Results, I guess. You know, I've been also been on the what do you call it? Like squeezing, I guess. Not like pumple. I don't squeeze pumples. Pumples you shouldn't squeeze. Pumples you should either poke to make like a puncture because you don't want to pop a pimple because then it'll leave like scars and shit. You know what I do with pimples is I have like this little tool that has like it's kind of like a needle, and like I make an incision basically so that, and then the pus will come out so that when the pus comes out, it's not through, oh, I applied so much pressure that the pipe exploded. It's through, oh yeah, I made like little things to like relieve the pressure. So then it just kind of comes out, and then when it heals, there's not like you know, a freaking crater just from the explosion if you just squeezed it. But like I squeeze out my blackheads with a similar bro, similar tool, to like squeeze. So I've been on that, you know, not trying to do too much at once and all that. So my skin's looking better, drinking water, you know, been very much on top of that. And that one's also been affected by the winter. Oh my gosh, dude. Like because it's so cold, right? When you're drinking water, the water becomes room temperature, but the room temperature is also cold. So when I'm drinking the water, it's like making me even colder by proxy. And then like before I go to sleep, I like drink tea to like heat myself up before I go to sleep. It's so rough. I do not like winter. I put this in a TikTok, but like the second I like get rich, I'm gonna become a seasonal liver. I'm gonna migrate like a bird, dude. I'm gonna be moving around like, oh, it's summer here. Okay, yeah. Oh, it's becoming winter. Let me go there, bro. Like, I'm not staying in. I'm not doing winter no more. The second I get rich, bro, I'm not doing winter anymore. But yeah, um, I think that's all for today. You know, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. You know, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that. You know, share it with your mom, sister, aunt June, and see you in the next one. Peace. Well, actually, no. In this video, it's not see you in the next one. It's see you tomorrow. Peace.